Welcome back to the program, friend. I want you to imagine that some of the same items that you're about to see are being discussed not with Hillary and Bernie, but with Hillary and the Donald, or Hillary and Ted Cruz. Because Bernie Sanders, even though this clip I'm about to show, you can see that it was pretty testy, Bernie Sanders knows that if he does not beat Hillary, which is unlikely, he knows that if he doesn't defeat her, that he does want her to be the next president. And he wants her to defeat Trump or Cruz, whoever gets the nomination. And he knows that he's probably going to help her try and win the White House. So he pulls a lot of his punches. But I want you to just imagine this debate going on and these issues being debated, not by Bernie, who's pulling his punches, but by one of the two Republican frontrunners who pummel her and seek to draw political blood. But oh wait, I think that Bernie drew some blood and showed us where the weak spots are. See for yourself.
Secretary Clinton, how long? 25 years. We worked together in the Senate, and I said that in response to the kind of attacks we were getting from the Clinton campaign. Washington Post headline says, Clinton campaign says Sanders is unqualified, and that's what the surrogates were saying. Does Secretary Clinton have the experience and the intelligence to be a president? Of course she does. But I do question her judgment. I question a judgment which voted for the war in Iraq, the worst foreign policy blunder in the history of this country, voted for virtually every disastrous trade agreement, which cost us millions of decent-paying jobs, and I question her judgment about running super PACs, which are collecting tens of millions of dollars from special interests, including $15 million from Wall Street. I don't believe that that is the kind of judgment we need to be the kind of president. Secretary Clinton called them out. Oh my goodness. They must have been really crushed by this. And was that before or after you received huge sums of money by giving speaking engagements behind them? So they must have been very, very upset by what you did. Look, here is the difference. And here is the clear difference. These banks, in my view, have too much power. They have shown themselves to be fraudulent organizations endangering the well-being of our economy. If elected president, I will break them up. We've got legislation to do that. End of discussion. Very surprised to learn that you supported raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour.
You know, wait a minute.
That's just not accurate.
I have stood on the debate stage with Senator Sanders 8 prior times.
Excuse me.
I have said the
Secretary,
exact same
Senator,
thing.
please.
If we can raise it to 15 in New York or Los Angeles or
Secretary, the
Seattle,
viewers,
let's do it.
If you're both screaming at each other, the viewers won't be able to hear either of you.
Okay.
So please don't talk over each other. Go ahead.
You know, there is no doubt that the only people that I would ever appoint to the Supreme Court are people who believe that Roe v. Wade is settled law and Citizens United needs to be overturned. And I want to say something about this since we're talking about the Supreme Court and what's at stake. We've had 8 debates before. This is our 9th. We've not had one question about a woman's right to make her own decisions about reproductive health care. Not one question. And in the meantime, we have states, governors, doing everything they can to restrict women's rights. We have a presidential candidate by the name of Donald Trump saying that women should be punished, and we are never asked about this. And to be complete in my concern, Senator Sanders said With respect to Trump, it was a distraction. I don't think it's a distraction. It goes to the heart of who we are as women, our rights, our autonomy, our ability to make our own decisions. And we need to be talking about that and defending Planned Parenthood from these outrageous. Took on the challenges of 9/11 together. We got the money to rebuild New York. We came to the aid of our brave first responders, construction workers, and others who endangered their own health by helping to save lives and search for survivors. We worked to create jobs despite the disastrous policies of George W. Bush across New York. And we stood up time and time again against all kinds of vested, powerful interests.
I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, the son of an immigrant who came to this country from Poland at the age of 17 without a nickel in his pocket, never made a whole lot of money, but was a very proud American because this country gave him and my mom the opportunity to send their kids to college.
You see what I'm talking about? Can you imagine if it was Trump going after Hillary on some of these issues or Ted Cruz going after her? And I know that most of my viewers, demographically, most of my viewers are not going to take the time to watch Hillary or Bernie because they just hold them in such contempt. As they should. You should hold Hillary and Bernie in contempt. It's a holy and righteous thing to do. But I've got to take a break, but I just want you to think through with me the email scandal. The criminal acts of this former Secretary of State have not been touched on. And her lack of judgment with Benghazi, not touched on by Bernie Sanders. When Donald Trump or Ted Cruz, especially Trump because he's way more vicious, but when one of those two men is on a stage with her or traveling around the country giving sound bites, Hillary's day in the sun is over. And then her day in the furnace of conflict begins. And she won't survive it, friend. I don't believe she can be our next president.